Joining us on the line from our Your TV studios here in Niagara Falls, Emily Kovacs from the Niagara Folks Arts Festival. Some difficult decisions having to be made. Springtime is the time where we celebrate the ethnic diversity of the Niagara area. I believe May, the first week of May, is when the Folk Arts Festival is usually planned to kick off. And Emily, you've made the decision, just like everything else these days, to cancel, to postpone this year's festival.
Yes, thanks, Mike, for having us on the show. Unfortunately, with regards to what is happening right now and in consultation with our ethnocultural communities, I think we made the right call to make sure that we keep everybody safe, and at the same time, we stay tuned on what is, what further developments arise. So we had the ambassador ball that was originally planned. We made that decision to cancel that right away. That was our event that we were running. And then we have roughly about 68 organizations that we work with, and then they had to sort of individually have to make those tough calls. And I commend them for making the right call. And I know it's not easy, but I think that we're going to be in a good position where, as soon as things go back to relatively normal, we'll be able to pick up again. We are resilient, and so are the communities, and we believe that there will be times when we're going to have, beautiful festivals and beautiful events that we can celebrate together.
Through this crisis, there have been a lot of new words, I guess, in our language: self-isolation, self-distancing, all of those things. Unprecedented is a word that gets thrown out a lot, and this is an unprecedented crisis. So yourself, with the Folk Arts Festival, you really would not have had a contingency plan in place for something like this.
No, not necessarily. We do have business continuity plans that we provide, as part of the festival. And as you know, we also have a staff of 47 and 3 satellite locations where we provide settlement supports for newcomers. So we do have some contingency planning. But of course, we also have very limited funding, and we rely heavily on volunteers and heavily on the support of the community to be able to run the festival itself. So I would imagine that, all of those things we're going to have to consider and take it as a loss. But I think that the greater gain right now is to make sure that we're all safe and healthy, and we'll pick up again and we'll redo it again.
When we think of folk arts, we think of the festival itself, but you're actually the Folk Arts and Multicultural Center, and you offer some services, especially for new Canadians. How are some of those services going on?
So we're in good shape. We've been able to redeploy all of our staff and resources to become virtual services. So right now our priority is to put out as many information booklets information available to various languages. We are starting to do ESL classes online. Our priority, because of sense of isolation with our clients, especially for those who have just recently arrived, our priority is to kind of prioritize them. The elderly newcomers who are isolated, vulnerable youth, women who are at risk of violence, migrant workers, international students, and permanent residents who are in limbo and waiting to hear about updates about their family members who can join them. So we're prioritizing our client groups. We're reaching out to them either by phone or virtually by email as well. And then at the same time, we're providing some sense of normalcy and programming online so that individuals can stay tuned not only for updates for information, but also, for hopeful messages. Things like we created a gratitude challenge, and we're trying to come up with positive ways to connect with our association members as well as our newcomers, so that they're provided up-to-date information, but also they are provided supports. We have mental health supports as well. And we have seniors programs regularly. So we're again creating a new virtual schedule where everyone who normally comes to us, we have roughly about 2,600 clients walk through our doors in a year. Any given day, we have about 200 clients. So it's a lot to reorganize. but I'm really proud of the work of the team. They're exceptional leaders. They are, they're able to sort of go with the flow and make things happen. So I'm really, really proud of the work that we've done.
Emily, on your website, you call this a postponement of this year's festival with the aim to hopefully have it sometime during 2020. There's a lot of uncertainty. Will we reach a point, and have you chosen when that point might be, where it might be impossible for you to pull this off in the 2020 calendar year? And again, you don't want to go up against other festivals that have their time and place, for instance, the Niagara Wine Festival.
Absolutely. What we normally do is, the planning for the festival happens actually year-round. We have go, no-go dates roughly around 2 months ahead. So, we at this point we have postponed it until the end of the summer. And if at that point we are still uncertain, I think that by then it will be safe to say we're going to cancel altogether. It takes about at least 2 to 3 months for us to be able to do it well. So if by the end of the summer we won't do it, then it's unfortunately over for us.
Thank you for the update, Emily. Emily Kovacs from the Folk Arts Festival, from Folk Arts and Multicultural Centre in St. Catharines. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Mike. Have a great day and stay safe.
You're watching the COVID-19 Niagara Update. More in a moment.